spots that are close at hand. The open road is calling loud and clear. Miles of freedom stretching far and near. At the Offsiders Roadhouse we will stay. Fill it up before we ride away through the desert heat or city lights, trucking through Australian days and nights.
Hello there YouTube, Brady back with another trucking adventure in Australia, and I keep on stuffing that up. It should be Australian Trucking Adventures. Oh, that was the Murray River. We are in Tailem Bend, South Australia, once again for the second time only, going into Adelaide. Spin yours back around here, you might get a little bit more shot of the river. We're on a little bit of a time crunch here, so we're not going to stop. You might notice the spits on the windscreen as well, so we're not going to be able to get the drone up. It's turned into one of those videos. I already filmed an intro leaving Melbourne, but it's pretty much rained the whole time over here. Can't get the drone up, can't put cameras outside the truck. It's just Mother Nature has turned the filming process off. So anyway, take two. Bit of an interesting one. Absolute crap load. Good because it's light. We're only about 2 ton, 2.5 ton or something. Not a lot of weight at all, but we'll go back to yesterday afternoon loading out of Melbourne. The composite panels, fridge panels, whatever you want to call them, panels with foam in them. They used to be fridge panels, but people use it for absolutely everything now, lining rooms and houses and sheds and all sorts of things, just for the insulation purposes, even if it's not going to be refrigerated. But oh man, look at down there. I wish I could get the drone up and get over that river. Last time I was here, I got here at 8:30, and I was probably 20 minutes off past the sunset. There was a nice red sunset over the Murray River there, but not this time. But anyway, we finished up. We got out of Melbourne, dealing with absolute nightmare of traffic. It is not the best time to be leaving the city, or leaving Melbourne in general. I thought the Hume was bad. The Western Highway was just as bad. Getting out to Ballarat, and then kept on going west through Ararat, Kararat, Dararat, Fararat, all the bloody towns with rat in them, until we eventually pulled in at Horsham last night and stayed there for the night. And yeah, this morning got up, had a coffee, and got ourselves to Tailem Bend. And as the sun was coming up, well, as the day was getting lighter, the sun wasn't coming up because it's overcast. And here we are with spots on the window again. Just those itty bitty little spots that just got to hit the wipers every 10-15 minutes and everything's dried out. Not favourable, but anyway, we are heading into Adelaide. That means we're going to tackle the infamous Adelaide Hills and the descent there. The members know, spoiler alert, it's a lot of fluff. Dairy farms for the first 22 years of my life, I know how to smell bullshit, and the Adelaide Hills might be that, but we'll explain all that when we get there. So that's about 45 minutes away. We'll get in, get this load of panel off. It's good that it's light, but it's this. The load I brought down to Melbourne was a pack of pine, bundles of pine wrapped in plastic as well, and even that being a real heavy duty plastic, the wind still tears it apart, and every time I've stopped I've had to go around, pull tails off that are just flapping around in the wind because this plastic's just falling apart. No, not 90. 70% of the plastic that was on this load when I left Melbourne is now scattered on the side of the highway between Melbourne and South Australia. I don't know why, just don't wrap it in plastic. Or don't put as much on, make it as high and tarp it if it can't get wet, but it's only foam and steel panel, plastic panel, whatever the outside is. So anyway, enough of the talky, we'll get into the descenty and yeah, get into a wet Adelaide. Here we go, the top of the Adelaide Hills in the rain.
Speed limit camera ahead.
We're going to stay in the middle lane here because we've got to turn left, right at the bottom of the hill. Turn you off. Save the censorship of idiots on the radio, but so unlike Ousley and everything else, our descent here is 60, not 40, as that sign suggests, unless it says 40 somewhere on a sign. But only my second time down here. I failed to mention before when we were at Tailem Bend, home of the Bend, a big race circuit, racetrack area. Weird, that OTR there seems to be a major car park, especially to walk across to the drags. There's a gate there to go into the end of the drag strip, but the Truckies Lounge only has one toilet. The main bathroom in the restaurant area only has one toilet, and then there's two disabled toilets in the hallway you can use as well, which seems incredibly under sufficient for a service station that caters to massive race events. And I've seen all the trucks over at the pits. I didn't see any signage on the side, but then we come across the Yamaha and Team Honda trucks parked there, so obviously a motorbike race was on this weekend. Also, yesterday while we were in Melbourne, I had my first real accident in the truck, and I need to find a lotto store to buy a lottery ticket, because we coming out of Dandenong up Stud Road, and I went around a bus that pulled into a bus stop in the lane it was in, and was focusing on that. Didn't even see a little convertible Mini come up the inside of me there. And of course, those new Minis, or not new, probably 10-15 year old, but they're only about 2 foot off the ground, so I had no chance of seeing the top of the convertible roof there. And threw an indicator on, and lucky I merged slowly like I normally do. All of a sudden a noise, and I've come back in my lane thinking, what was that? And then the Minis appeared out of the front of the bottom of the truck out of thin air. Pulled in front of me and started putting its hazard lights on. I'm going, yeah, rightio, here we go. Didn't see any damage on it at the time. They pulled into a service road. I thought, I'm not going in there because it's residential. I'll stay out here in the turning lane for that service road, and had a look, and a bit of a black mark on the big steel bumper, stainless bumper of the truck. No other visible, no damage, and walked over to the young lady that was in the Mini, and she was looking and threw her hands up in the air, and I was thinking, here we go, I'm going to get served for hitting, for indicating and not seeing her, but she must get it a lot, being a car that small. And she said, I don't see any damage. I said, there's a black mark on the front of the truck. I'm guessing me bumpers hit your tyre and that's what made the noise. It's just so lucky. Those minis have got a pretty wide stance, especially in the back of them and the front of them, and the tyres stick out a bit. They've got the flares on them, and yeah, just that tyre sticking out was enough to make contact, make a bit of a noise, and for me to realise someone was there. I could not believe it. I saved my first real accident. There was one accident before, which anyone that watched the This Is Your Life video, I may have had the clip in there, but broken down on the Craigieburn bypass 15, 16 years ago. Probably a little bit longer than that, probably 18 years ago, with a wide load, and I was just there trying to get the truck going, and someone decided that they'd come over the fog line and plough straight into the back of it. But yeah, 20 plus years of driving, and that's my first, I won't say major, but that's the first time I thought insurance was going to get involved. Just could not believe it that we come across that, or come out of that, both of us unscathed. So we both agreed there was no damage, no need to exchange numbers or anything, and went on our way. And of course, when you have a near miss like that, you're constantly looking out your little quarter window, looking out the little fisheye mirror under the main mirror, sitting up a bit taller in the seat to try and look down to see if there's anyone beside you. But anyway, back to this descent now. When we come down here last time with the members a few videos ago, and welcome to the members, Smoko Club Coffee Fund, and the channel tip supporters. I should mention, just for $1.50 a month you can get at least one extra video a month. Sometimes we do a couple others, but there's extra content there, and it's just a way of tipping the channel. But we did come to Adelaide once before, a couple of months ago, and come down here at night time or early morning, so it was dark, which was fun, and not knowing where I was going. And for a start, the 60, there might be, it's hard to tell because it's 6 lanes wide, but it doesn't feel anywhere near as steep as what Ousley, or definitely not as bad as Abercrombie Road. And the 60Ks suggests that, yeah, it's not as bad as others. I feel the main reason, and we're coming up on the sign now, the main reason we're doing this speed is so you're not on your brakes, because there is a major intersection and traffic lights at the bottom of the hill, which we need to start moving over for in a minute. Well, no one's coming. There is a major intersection at the bottom, and they want your brakes nice and cool when you get there, so if you do have to come to a complete stop, you're able to. As I said earlier, we're light as hell. Those panels, a couple of tonne if that. Alright, 60, so we're going to move over here. Over one lane. I can't remember which lanes go right, if we're lucky enough to use both or not. But we'll just keep on letting the traffic come through and do what it wants to do while we tick down here. That truck down there's got his indicator on, but I don't know if that's because he's turning or if he's changing lanes. And he's changed lanes. So we'll keep going slow. We've got some space. I just don't, I don't want to be on the inside of an inside turning lane. So unlike Melbourne and Sydney, you get to the freeway here and it just comes to city streets. No nice big bridge there going onto a big elevated city bypass, city link if you will. But that's the descent into Adelaide at Adelaide Hills. Again, I think it's all just because of this intersection. Come tearing down there at speed, especially if you're in a double, or I don't even know if trains are allowed down here. They're both, oh, it's a double up there. But yeah, there are downhill ascent videos that explain it a bit more. Interesting, we've caught up to the two Yamaha trucks that were at the OTR. So obviously that race meet must have just been on, even though it's a Thursday. A bit late to be leaving one race centre and heading to the next, but oh well. Obviously by this time too you would have noticed that the Crawling the Hume video has not been released. Unfortunately, that footage is lost. Spent a bit of money at the local computer shop to try and get them to recover, at least, at the very least, recover the footage I took so I could re-edit it, but no. The video I done and deleted is gone, and the video I took on the day, the raw footage is gone as well. So unfortunately, if you want to see Crawling the Hume, you're going to have to do it with someone else, or go back and watch the 2024 video, which is a real shame. But anyway, that has been probably our last downhill descent. I don't see any reason in the future why I'd be going between Wollongong and Sydney and doing Bully Pass, but it might happen. Thanks everyone for watching. Comment, like, subscribe and all the usual stuff. My greatly positioned snacks are here, and we're on the gummies, Havro gummies, Coke bottle, yummo. Another sunny, glorious day in Adelaide. Thanks guys, and I'll catch you in the next one.